Hey everybody, it's Max, and I want to take some time here in this video to talk to you about the raid lair, Eater of Worlds. Now, anybody who's watched some videos or been in there, there's two things that are going to happen when you get into the raid lair. The first thing is it's going to be very jump intensive. You're going to be bouncing, running from platform to platform. You're going to have to make some tricky jumps here and there. And the second thing is a buttload of Vex. So, this is... You can watch videos all you want. I've said this to a lot of people. You can watch videos to get a good idea of what's going on. But unless you get in there and actually do it, it's something that you kind of have to experience. And the experience is definitely going to help you understand what the fight entails. However, there are some things that you can do in preparation for being in the raid lair. And some areas that you can go to in order to do it. Now, ideally, what we're looking for is an area that's going to involve a whole lot of Vex and a whole lot of terrain jumping. And there's a spot that I like to do just that on that I've found. Has a conveniently placed Vex public event and some terrain that kind of matches what you're seeing here in this raid lair footage. And I'm going to show you where that is. So you're going to take off from the tower, head into Nessus. And what we're looking for is a public event in the Hallows. This is an area that a lot of people don't go to. It's not the best public event to do. It's the Vex Spire. But I go to Watcher's Grave, load in, and from there I'm going to head towards the Hallows. And I'm pretty much just waiting for that public event to spawn, and in the meantime I'm going to be doing a little bit of jump training. You see, there's not too many videos out there that actually talk about how to jump. It's just a given. People just assume, oh, you go jump, you just jump around. What's the problem? But some people don't like the Titan jump, or they don't like the Hunter jump, or they're used to the Warlock, or they're used to the Titan. And if you lock yourself into one specific class, it actually makes the others kind of difficult if it's not something that you're used to doing. So to actually just go someplace and jump around is one of the best ways that you can familiarize yourself with how it works. Now, from Watcher's Grave, you're going to head up here to this big old bent tree and slide underneath. And this is the space you're looking for. Hop on your Sparrow, and you're heading up here. It's going to make a little bit of an S-curve. Right here. And then straight on till morning, it brings you down into the Hallows. Now, I'm coming into a public event already in progress, which is pretty nice because got some friends here. But we're going to come in here and finish it out. Now, this is the point where you're going to do some weapons testing. Bring in different guns, see which ones work, which ones don't. Get an idea of, how can I aim at a goblin, take them out. Like I've always said, hit them in the juice box. Minotaurs, they're a lot different. Shielded. And this public event is going to give you a good span of Vex enemies. Some of these guys you're not going to face. You're not going to see any Hydras in the raid there. But everything else you're going to see. Goblins, Harpies, shielded Minotaurs, and this little Exploder Fanatic guys missing all sorts of parts. But this is where you want to come in, wait for this public event, and just start shooting. This one gets hectic too. The more people you have, the better off it is. It's with any public event. But this one is really tough to do with a few people. If you don't have a good enough group, it's going to be difficult to change it to heroic. It's the kind where you have to go and stand on the plates, and once you get all 3 plates, it turns heroic. So, depending on how many people you have with you, and if you're doing it solo. I've done this one solo, and I have not turned it heroic. I don't know if you can, because they keep congregating into the middle and taking away your Spire points. But, you get in here for this public event, and then once things calm down, first off, you're going to have a ton of heavy ammo laying around, which is always good for the next public event. But what I want you to look at is, look at the terrain, look at the landscape. And you're seeing a lot of spires, a lot of platforms, a lot of areas that you can jump to and from, high, low, different altitudes, I guess you would say, different heights. This is a lot of what you're going to see in the raid lair. And if you just pick some certain spots and decide, hey, I'm going to try to jump up there and see how it works, this will help you out. Another thing I like to do, I like to get into a spot, look around, and I'll pick an area and I'll say, you know what, I'm going to try to make a jump from where I'm at to there. for instance right here. And land it. You want to look for areas like, can I make it from where I'm at to where I want to be? And sometimes you'll use, different types of jumps. Sometimes you're going to elongate that one. Now this one here I'm doing on the hunter, and for hunters I would always suggest that you stay with triple jump. It just gives you the most options. If you ever had to switch off for something else for another reason, then go for it, but stay with triple jump. Get used to triple jump. It's the one you're going to use the most often. And what I end up doing is I just try to get to any place I can. Here I'm up on that handrail around the big rock sphere or whatever it is here in the center. I'll maneuver from different spots. See if I can find a place and be like, wow, I wonder if I can get up there. And undershot that one a little. So maybe we'll try it from this spire. And there you go. If you don't practice this stuff and you don't, try to make these things happen, it's very difficult to master it, or even just to get used to it, especially if it's not a character class that you're used to running all the time. But with some trial and error, you'll be able to see spaces that you couldn't get to before, and you'll be able to land it. So again, this was on my hunter, and again I suggest triple jump for that. Now we're going to switch characters here, and I'm going to go to my Titan. The Titan jump is a lot different than the Warlock, even though they have kind of a similar nature. The Titan jump almost always takes you up. When you press jump, regardless of whether you're standing or you're floating, wherever you're at, it's an upward motion. If you're looking down, it would be a downward motion somewhat, but it still has like a little cushion, like a buffer. And I'm going to head back to the same place that I was before, again in the Hallows, a public event. Managed to catch this one just before it started, but it's just me and one little friend, so this one gets a little tough, but we're going to try to hang through it, see what we can do. And here I'm using the scout rifle instead of hand cannon to see how well that works. Getting used to juice box shooting, protecting that center part. Probably shouldn't punch those guys, but we're having fun. And then we'll try some auto rifle. But this was just weapons testing, getting used to it, throwing supers, protecting an area. Because if you think about it, if you're a defender, you've got an area to protect, and this is a good way to learn how to do it. So this public event is painful, but you're going to learn a lot from doing it. And even though we let quite a few Vex into that center spire, we were still able to complete it with just the two of us. So, good job, little buddy. Hope to see you out there again. So now that things have quieted down, we're back to just jumping around, the same things I did with my hunter. Now for my Titan, I prefer to use the very lowest jump, the strafe. The catapult's nice to get, whoosh, out of places, and it's nice to have the initial height for some high areas. But to be honest with you, I think that the strafe jump is the best one for just general purpose. And another thing with the Titans is you have kind of a curve. If you're falling straight down and you hit your jump, it doesn't immediately stop you like it does with the Hunter or the Warlock. You have kind of this landing curve, almost like a helicopter coming in, and that's something to get used to. That'll keep you from breaking your ankles whenever you take a long or a high fall. But it's the same thing that I did with my Hunter. So I'm just going to see areas, where can I get to? Can I jump from where I'm at to here? Can I make it to this spot? Can I practice nice soft landings that don't break my legs? So now I've switched over to my Warlock. There's no public event, just a couple trash enemies that we're going to take care of here real quick. But the Warlock jump is similar to the Titans that you're gliding, except it's more immediate stopping. So when you jump from heights, as soon as you hit your jump, you stop exactly where you're at. And also, there's no immediate uplift, so wherever you're pointing with the Warlock is the direction you're going to go. If you're pointing down, you're going to jump downwards. If you're pointing up, you're going to jump upwards. But it just takes a little bit of getting used to, especially if someone who's used a Titan more often. Now, when you're jumping with the Warlock, again, like I said, it's directional there. You'll notice I was kind of down, so I just went straight down. That can also be affected by the way you're running. If you're running at a downward angle and you jump, you're going to jump at a downward angle as well. I use the same thing with the Titan. I use the strafe jump here when I'm using my Warlock. It's the bottom one. And that was a nice recovery because I was actually heading down. But we're going to get back up here onto the handrails. Another thing to work on is when you're not just looking to see can I get to a spot, look at how quickly can I get from one spot to the other. Here I'm going to try to cross the map with some speed, get a good running start. And you'll notice how I'm cutting my jump off, starting it back up, using it at different points. It's one of the benefits to the Warlock jump is it has a lot more on-off control when you're out there running around the world. But what you want to do is just get out there and just practice it up. Set yourself some goals, find some areas, and see if you can get from point A to point B. How fast can I go? How far can I run? What if I'm going the wrong way? Can I correct that? Can I adjust? And this definitely is going to help you out when you're doing the raid lair, not just the Vex fighting you're doing, but just the jump controls. So hopefully, guys, if you head on down to Nexus, look for the Hallows, and just spend some time in here. There's actually a lot you can learn and get much better at jumping. Hope this helps, and like always, I'll see you out there, guys.